and I'm just, you know, like juggling, right? I can only handle 2 balls right now. Like, I can juggle this like studio. I can only, PG-13, guys. I can. All right, I can only juggle 3 balls right now. Let's start with that. I can
only fondle with them.
No. All right, it's teen audience, guys. All right, PG-R, soft R, soft R.
I'm disappointed.
Welcome to Cloudtown Tuesday, the day where I share a page from my graphic novel, Cloudtown, and tell you about the process of making it. It's like a editor's commentary on a DVD. Here it is. Let's go. Let's do it.
One more page.
For you guys reading at home, this is Cloudtown Tuesday, part of the, what was it? The Bean Can break? No, the cartoon comics break.
Book breakdown
with Studio Bean Can.
Or is it cartoon?
Where we discuss comics, graphic novels, manga, zines, funny books with comic people at all stages of their journey. I might even try to get some people on the business side doing some of these things.
Yeah, get Tien up in here.
Tien did one with me.
Oh crap! Watch this episode. This one's great.
So I really am proud of the visualization of the sound effect of a bad bearing. Mm-hmm. So it took some like figuring out.
Oh, you made it like part of the word panel. Is
yeah, like a hamster wheel.
So oh yeah, you can kind of hear it, like the squeakiness of it. Like her thing is breaking, and then the hamster wheel shows that it's squeaking a little bit. Yeah, and then he falls over and it breaks. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like the composition too. The way she's moving throughout the panels.
I really love doing motion in comics because before I did comics, I did little flash animations. Yeah. How do you feel about that? You want to read that and tell me if you find that interesting? I was also really proud of the plaque sound. That was the first time I used that as like a skateboard landing sound because that's such a specific sound.
Yeah, it's a good illustration of an ollie. You know,
I watched a lot of people kick flipping on YouTube and paused and played and paused. And I wanted to get that sense of when you get off something that stops suddenly and you flap your feet to slow down.
Yeah.
I think your background in animation helps a lot with comics.
This first one is a little hard to read.
Yeah, it's small.
And it's also, like, when I first, like, quickly looked at it, I saw it as a quarter.
Yeah.
So, this one reads fine. And
almost you need to start with that somehow.
So
something with the bigger example.
Yeah.
Although when you get to there, you go back, but you don't want people to get lost.
I'm just wondering, like, how, you know, maybe if instead of using one line for the circle of the wheel, it was like a 2 line, so it had some dimension to it.
Yeah.
It's just and also doing the reason I think it reads as a quarter is because of these lines on the side that are pointing to.
Yeah, I do the double line on there. That second one.
Maybe like if there's more motion lines on the outside as opposed to on the inside, maybe
or a more 3D perspective.
Motion line of going up from the hamster.
I mean, honestly, if this wasn't, how many panels are on this page? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If it was a 3-panel page instead of 11-panel page, that wouldn't be a problem.
You know, it might have worked better if this was just 1 page.
Yeah, but right again, there. That density, I was so worried about page count.
Yeah.
So
you're under a limit.
Honestly, I was watching cartoonist kayfabe, and break kayfabe, I was sweating every time I wanted to add another page because I had a strict 224-page limit. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the episode about Dark Knight Returns, and they were like, yeah, you can just have a 12-panel page. I was like, oh, I can. And I think that was around here. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to do some 12-panel pages. And every time you do the 12-panel page, you buy yourself a 6-panel page or whatever, 5-panel. This is a 4-panel page with...
So it opens up to where
in Dark Knight, like those
the,
pages are kind of confusing too. Like he takes like the risk. That's what they said in kayfabe. Like he took the risk of like making it not very legible in a couple of panels. Like even if it's like clear what's happening to the artist, but he was like able to do that with a 12-panel page. Like,
really set up a rhythm. Pages.
The nice thing about the density and then coming out is then the out feels bigger. Right. So this is a super dense book, but like this seems huge, and it's not even a full page spread. This is page 24 I'm referring to, and we're looking at primarily are...
Right, it does also like affect the pacing with the amount of panels on a page, so then you get like a big break when you're back to this scene.
Do you do like a rough thumbnail for the entire manuscript before you go to the pages, or do you just do a page, then the next page, then the next page?
So I didn't do that for this one. I did a pretty tight thing for the whole book, but most of the general edits were in the script.
Okay, so you wrote a full script?
I wrote a full script, and then that was edited a lot. But I think in future I will edit with roughs, because you lose a lot of the benefit of being a cartoonist if you start in just text. If you're someone that both writes and draws your own stuff, you have the superpower of being able to ad-lib action and see what things are visually better. And so you're kind of working with one hand tied behind your back if you just script, I think. And be loose and be messy and be happy to be like, this page, I'm just going to type a few things because I have the idea and I'm going to move on. Like, whatever you need to do to get it out. Yeah. But from now on, or at least for this next project, that's what I did. Super, super loose.
Just notice you have that bean can that's open for the by Daniel.
I wanted my pen name to be Bean Can Dan.
Yeah.
But that was what we settled on. Little Bean Can.
That's awesome.
But what was I going to say? In my dreams, in my fantasies, I have enough planned out on my webcomic that I can hire some of my favorite artists, not to do covers, but to do the climactic scenes. Oh. You know how in animation, like you have
they have the guest animator and they do like just super crazy fluid stuff.
And then I have like a double page spread that I'm like, you know who would be the best in the world at this person, and be like, how much would it cost for me to hire you to ink this in your style?
That'd be really dope.
That'd be so amazing. And it's something that I've never seen before, because it makes so much better financial sense to have them do the covers. Because if it's someone talented and better known, you're going to sell more units that way than if it's just inside. But if it's inside, then it's part of it in like a special way. I don't know. It'd be worth experimenting with.
Yeah, you'd have to get a few artists, I feel like, just to make it
like a regular thing,
Yeah, so the person understands why the art style changes. It's like, oh, this is a big scene. We've got a guest artist here. Like, this is why it looks different.
You're planning on it being a webcomic, not necessarily a print.
Eventually it'll be print.
Yeah, but when it's printed, it's going to be printed as a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So the thing is about cartooning is it's super time consuming, right? We all have day jobs. And we all make comics, and we're all experimenting to make our comics better. And I feel like that experimentation part is more time consuming than the actual comic drawing sometimes. Mm-hmm. So there's just a lot to do. At this point in time, I have my bandwidth completely filled. I haven't had a day off this year, like really, and I'm not going to have a day off in the next 3 months for sure. Yeah. And if I don't worry about the print version of the comic until I actually have a following that wants it, then I can focus on making the comic as good as possible. And I don't think that that's the smart choice for like you, Kurt. Like you have a fan base that loves the physical product, and that's how you're growing your audience through your Kickstarters, right? Mm-hmm. But for me, for this project, I'm experimenting with doing the opposite of what I've always done. So since I started...
you want to have that webcomic.
I want to have that webcomic because since I started doing comics, I've never respected the internet audience. I have toured the country in a van. I have sold zines. For short chunks of time, I've been a professional cartoonist, like 6 months here, a couple years there, through selling a graphic novel, through selling zines. But the truth is, like, I sold 250 copies of a zine series, and that allowed me to make a living for a few months.
That's awesome.
It was great. I just did the math, and I was like, I was living super cheaply in Pittsburgh. I was like, if I make X number, I think it was like, if I make $2 profit, I only need $500 a month to live. Like, that's how little I needed. So 250 copies times $2 is $500 a month, and that was my job. And it was awesome.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to do more of this. But then I put that same comic online, and 800 people read it in the first day, and I was like, who cares? It's just the internet.
Damn.
So I'm just trying to do the opposite. I'm gonna respect the fact that 50,000 people see what I put on Instagram, even though I feel better when I'm in a room with 5 people on tour and I spend all the gas money to get there. I'm just going to try to really make it awesome for the people that are fans of me online.
It does seem like, yeah, there's definitely...
See how it goes.
So are you going to be designing it to be on Instagram primarily?
I'm not. Because
But you're going to be releasing it on Instagram.
I am not.
Oh, okay. So where are you going to be releasing it? Just on Patreon?
On my website and on my Patreon. And so this is a big if, but like I want to figure out a way to make people that follow me on Instagram and any other social platform be able to see how good it will be and then make it free and easy for them to go, but they just have to leave Instagram, which honestly is my favorite thing about my comic subscriptions. Like, I kind of hate being stuck in Instagram all day.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks your life in a bad way. Yeah. And then...
It's designed to manipulate you.
Yeah, and so I subscribe to Comix on a couple of apps and on people's Patreon. And when I see on their, like, feed that they have something new, I click over there and I'm happier. And so, like, my goal is to do that because I can format it the way that will read the best and translate into physical print.
Are you going to design a website where you can read the book and then also purchase the book? That it's an online store?
Yeah, so you can do that on my store anyway. You can read the book. You can purchase my other book signed. I'll probably even make it so...
So can you read the entire book on your website?
The webcomic. But I can't... I don't have the rights to sell this digitally.
Oh, okay.
But you can read my old books on my Patreon.
Okay. But,
Goodbye Cloudtown High is totally free on my website. You just need to give an email.
Okay.
So you sign in with your email address, and then immediately you get the free comic. You can either read it there, or you can just download the PDF if that's what you want to do and keep it. Then you can either unsubscribe and it's all good, or you just stay and I can give you another free comic, another like 100-some page free comic in a couple of days. My old top of the line, which is out of print, now called Made Monsters, that got like good reviews from some indie guys that were really helping me out. And then if you stay, you get some of the videos we've recorded together. And then if you keep staying, it's just like, hey, did you like this? Because you can keep getting this for a little bit of money, or you can get this like once a month instead of a couple of times a week. So that's fine. You know, most people aren't going to pay money because people aren't used to valuing comics the way they value normal things.
You mean like how they'll pay $30 for a print and be angry about a $6 comic?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
no, that's awesome. That's part of the culture.
Part of the culture, which is why I'm going to sell prints instead of comics for each issue. I'm going to have a free download each issue, and then you can buy a print. My Patreons get half off.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but I'm gonna
make really bizarre.
I'm gonna make the print awesome. I'm gonna make it limited edition signed.
Is it gonna be like a silkscreen print?
I haven't decided. It might be silkscreen, might be Riso. It might just be a cool, weird digital print where I'm gonna like inject like custom inks into my printer.
Print or some sort.
Something. But whatever that is, that's another part of the process. And I'm just, like juggling, right? I can only handle 2 balls right now. Like I can juggle this like studio. Yeah, I can only PG-13 guys. I can. All right, I can only juggle 3 balls right now. Let's start with that. I can
only fondle with them.
I can only fondle. No. All right, it's teen audience, guys. All right, PG-R, soft R, soft R.
I'm disappointed.
All right, fine. I can only juggle so many balls. Let's start with that. This is the opening.